Hello dear friends, I'm so honored and grateful to be here on the beautiful Chef AJ show. She's such a great inspiration for me and for so many people around the world. The work she's doing here in this world is invaluable. My name is Raw Reny and I've been on this beautiful raw vegan path for over 15 years. And today I would love to show you one of my favorite raw vegan soup recipes. This recipe is from our brand new mini course, Autopilot Your Raw Vegan Success. This course is a part of the new raw vegan bundle with 40 books and recipes that have never been released before. This bundle is organized only once a year. All the content, all the recipe books are brand new. You can get this deal only now within this 11 days and it will never be available for this low price again. If you feel like you need some inspiration from the most successful raw vegans out there right now and the best, most satisfying raw vegan recipe collection, this bundle is for you. So check it out before it's gone. The link is down below. Butternut squash. I know many people say that you can't eat butternut squash or other squashes or pumpkins raw. How can you eat it raw? I'm happy to admit that when pumpkin is nice and ripe and I'm cutting it for some recipe, I can take a piece and just eat it like an apple. Fruit ripeness is one of the biggest keys for the raw vegan success. And by the way, butternut squash is also a fruit. We're also gonna use some sweet potato. And I also love to eat sweet potato just as it is. One of the biggest secrets with squashes and zucchinis and pumpkins is if you blend them, we need to add something acidic to prevent oxidation. And of course, if you can use vacuum blender, that would be very helpful. But anything acidic, even in a regular blender, will help you to stop this oxidation. And that's when people don't like the flavor of raw pumpkin blended, because when raw pumpkin gets oxidized, it's really not so nice flavor. So make sure to add something acidic like these tomatoes we're going to be using. We're also going to use some celery for saltiness, and to make it even more satisfying, we'll use some sesame seeds, some flax seeds, and some dulse flakes. And of course, we will spice it up with some garlic and hot pepper. And before we make our soup, we're gonna make a chunky part of the soup because some of that needs to be marinated overnight. So we're gonna slice 3 mushrooms and then half of sweet onion, and then we're gonna chop some garlic and parsley and squeeze some lemon on it. I find it the easiest to cut mushroom in half and then slice it when it's flat on the board. You could also use mandolin for slicing your mushrooms really thin, like my mom does. I just like to use simpler tools. We can put these mushrooms in a glass jar. Then slice your onion. I like to put another half in a jar, close it with a lid and put it in the fridge. When I'm halfway through the onion, I turn it around and then start chopping again. This makes it easier. Then we're gonna chop some parsley. Put it in a jar. Peel the garlic. I also cut it in half and then make little slices, and then we can actually peel the lemon zest off of the lemon because we're gonna use the pith in the soup, in the blended part of the soup. Just please be very mindful with your knife. Now when we have the zest removed, and you can save it for many things, we can cut our lemon in half and juice it. This is one of my favorite hand citrus squeezers. I bring it also with us when we travel sometimes, and we can squeeze fresh orange juice right there on the go. And please save the pith, we're going to use it on the next day in our soup recipe. Now we pour the lemon juice into our jar and then fill up the jar with the clean water. Shake it up really well and leave it in the fridge for about 8 to 10 hours. And here's the one that I made yesterday, so it's ready to use. And now we can get to the soup recipe. So we're gonna cut some pumpkin. The way I like to do it is to cut off this stem side, and the slimmer part here is so easy to use. That's what I love about butternut squash, is that it's so much easier to use. You can put your knife in to make it easier and then turn. This is a real beauty. It's so orange, deep orange color, very ripe. Then I put it down like this and then peel the skin off. Then I chop it. Now I got too excited about squash and I started chopping the squash, but ideally you can start from tomatoes, because when you put tomatoes first in the blender, it makes it easier for the blender to start the process of blending. So you can just loosely cut the tomato. So we can put it right in the blender. And now we can peel and chop our sweet potato. And sweet potato will add this nice creaminess and sweetness and a little bit deeper flavor to the soup. I like to peel sweet potato with the peeler. To me, the sweet potato is even more edible raw than carrots. Every time I'm chopping up the sweet potato, I'm very tempted to take a piece just like this and eat it. It's just so good. So let's put the sweet potato in. We can put in our pith. Make sure there's no seeds in there. And one thing that I almost forgot to mention is that if you have a lot of lemon pulp left and maybe a lot of juice still in the lemon, it might make your soup a little bit too acidic, especially if your tomatoes are not fully ripe and fully sweet. In this case, try to separate the pith from the lemon pulp. This way you're only getting flavor from the pith, which is not acidic at all, but it has a very interesting mild flavor that adds the depth to the flavor of this soup. And our pumpkin is pretty filled up. Now we can chop up some celery. Put in about half a cup. Put 2 tablespoons of sesame, 1 tablespoon of flax seeds. I love to use golden flax seeds because they just have milder flavor and more beautiful color. And about a tablespoon of dulse seaweed. When I blend garlic, I just cut off this lower part, which is kind of harder, and I put the whole thing in with the skin, because skin is very high in silica, and silica is so good for our skin, nails, bones and teeth. Then we'll put a little bit of chili pepper and add about a cup of water. If you use vacuum blender, it's very important not to overfill your blender because otherwise it can go up into the vacuum part. So here's the soup base. It's super creamy, super thick, super flavorful. And depending on how you like it, you can store this soup base in a vacuum sealed jar in the fridge and then take some out and add some warm water, mix it in and make a more watery soup if you like, or just use it as it is. And depending on appetite, it can serve from 1 to 2 people, or maybe even 4 people. So we're gonna just put it in a smaller bowl here. It's really thick, so you can feel free to dilute it with some warm water. So now we can make our zucchini noodles. If you like this soup to look more traditional, you can peel your zucchini so the noodles are all white. But if you like some interesting green color in there, you can just take a julienne peeler and make noodles just like this. See? They're really fun. If you are curious about truly satisfying raw vegan veggie dishes, I encourage you to check out the Raw Vegan Bundle. You can just go to the page and see what types of recipes are there. Looking at these recipes, it's hard to believe that they're not cooked. Deeply satisfying stews, mind-blowing wraps, and many other classical recipes reproduced in a raw vegan way. If you can't julienne peel the whole zucchini, you can chop it up too and just add it to your soup. Chopped in cubes, it's also really fun. I'm only using half of the soup base for now, so I will only use half of the zucchini. And you can chop this noodles shorter, so it's easier to eat in the soup. You can even try to make noodles with a knife. If you like the soup to be more flavorful, you can easily add sun-dried tomatoes or other vegan condiments that you're using. The cubes are also very nice. You can just cube your zucchini and this will be beautiful for the soup too. And try to mix them in right away because the zucchini starts oxidizing after you peel it or chop it. Also, if your tomatoes were not fully ripe, then the soup can be a little bit on the acidic side. That's why it's quite important to choose very ripe tomatoes. But if it turned out a little bit too acidic still, then you can try to use some type of whole food sweetener like dates, which I prefer not to use in my recipes together with fat. But for many people it works if they put just a little bit. And now we're gonna add our marinated mushrooms and onions. I'm gonna use only half because I'm making half of the recipe. And now you can see that it's super thick. If you like it like this, it will be more like a stew, then you can just enjoy it like this. And if you want it to be more like a traditional, more flowy soup, you just add a little bit of warm water in here. And if you would like it a little warmer, you can put it in dehydrator or even just have a bigger bowl with hot water and place your bowl with the soup inside and mix it up to warm it up. This is a 40-degree water. I love to use this tea maker that makes it easy to choose just 40 degrees and it will be still raw soup. And of course you can just add water to the blender right away. Now you can see that it's much more flowy. It's a pretty orange color, and there's some green zucchini peels that you can see. But if you peel a zucchini, it will look more like a traditional noodle soup. I'm gonna give it a try. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's spicy, and of course you can always add more spices, and you can always add more flavor to any soup, any dishes that you make. This is what I see all the time when people are making raw food dishes. Raw food always tastes a little bit different depending on how ripe or how flavorful your produce is. The flavors are less affected during the preparation process. So if your ingredients are really flavorful and rich, then you will get this rich flavor in your dish. If you didn't get this rich flavor, you can add more flavors. You can add your favorite condiments. If you're not fully raw, you can add things like miso or nutritional yeast or coconut aminos. Because in the end of the day, what's the most important is that you move forward. It is much less important to be purist, but much more important to enjoy these beautiful fresh fruits and veggies that give you health and energy that you deserve. This recipe is a part of our Automate Your Raw Vegan Success mini course that is a part of the Raw Vegan Bundle. The Raw Vegan Bundle is a fantastic collaboration of many raw vegans who are coming together to bring you their knowledge in their ebooks, their recipes, their ideas, their inspiration, so you can truly succeed on this beautiful raw vegan path. This is a unique opportunity to learn from so many raw vegans all at once and see their latest and greatest ideas all in one package. So check out the Raw Vegan Bundle. The link will be down in the description below. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share one of my favorite raw vegan dishes here on this beautiful Chef AJ show. And if you want to see more of my recipes and inspiration, then you can come and check me out on Instagram. I'm at Raw Reny, and I'm so excited to see you there. Thank you so much, Chef AJ, for having me. Bye!